Hopefully this video should help you get through what one of the students had brought up as being one of the tougher parts of the blueprint assignment due this evening. I had meant to get this video out earlier, but I've had actually quite a few things going on this weekend. But hopefully, if you're having trouble with this video can help you get through this. Pure expectations is actually a pretty tough part of finance, and I was a little bit surprised to see it in the curriculum for this semester. But we could easily work through it. So one of the things with pure expectations is with the problem that you have here, which I'll show you what we have in the blackboard or blueprint. This is what it's going to look like. At the top you can see I've already filled in one of the blanks with pure expectations. That's the theory that we're dealing with. And we're dealing with interest rates on 1 year that yield 1.4%, 2.3% for 2 year, and 3 year bonds yield 3.5%. So what that essentially is stating is that for 1 year, we yield an annual return of 1.4%. For 2 year, this is an annual return of 2.3%. What that means is that over the 2 years, you're yielding 2.3% a year. It actually looks like representation of 1 plus 2.3. Sorry, this should actually be 1 plus 0.023. So we have to represent like an interest rate to the power 2, right? And then on the 3 year, we'll yield an annualized return of 3.5%. So the expectation, given the yields of these bonds, is that the expectation is that interest rates are going to rise. So using these simple formulas, we can kind of substitute in some certain values and fill out the remainder and then solve it for algebraically. So the way that I like to think about this is I like to think about it kind of in pieces, right? So we can represent a 1 year like a block like this, and then it's 1 year, and we can go ahead and substitute in its value of 1.4%. 2 year, represent that one like blocks, and then so for 2 year, each of these years is going to be equal to 2.3%. So for the first question we have here, if the expectations is correct, 1 year T-bond 1 year from now, be sure to use geometric average. Round your answer to 4 decimal places. Do not round intermediate calculations. So we want the yield 1 year from now. So what we know is we know the yield on a 2 year. So the way this can be represented is that we can show on one side of it the total yield for a 2 year, which is 1.023 to the power 2, plus, so we have kind of 2 blocks over here, and then we have one known block over here, which is the 1 year, which is 1.014 times the other one, which is 1 plus that unknown r, correct? So now we can just solve for it algebraically. Bring this down here, divide this 1.023 power 2 divided by 1.014 is equal to 1 plus r. So I get out my calculator. Let me clear it out here. And 1.023, sorry, this is going to be a little rough. We get that. 1.023 squared is 1.0465. The calculator is actually taking digits past here. This is just what it's showing, where I have it set. So that's going to be important here in a moment. Divide by 1.014, and we get 1.0321. Now on the other side of the equation, we still have 1 plus r on the other side of the equation. So we subtract 1 from each side to solve for r. Subtract 1. Now here's something important. I missed a few my first time through here, and the reason why is because I wasn't rounding to the hundredths. What you need to do is after you subtract out the 1 to isolate the rate, go ahead and just multiply this by 100 and get it to represent as a whole number, and that way it'll take a little bit further. And we get 3.208. So that's what I'm going to plug as my answer. 3.208. I'm going to put that at last zero. Just for... Now for the next one, now I'm going to have to pause this. I can only do YouTube videos for up to 6 minutes. So I'm going to do a second part to this video and solve for the other two.